Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon. 1923 Season 2 cast a 1980s heartthrob actor, and he's unrecognizable. Taylor Sheridan's 1923 Season 2 cast an actor who was a teenage heartthrob in the 1980s, and he looks completely unrecognizable in the Western series. Taylor Sheridan has a long history of working with A-list actors, and his shows seem to draw the absolute best. For example, almost all of Sheridan's shows on Paramount Plus are headed by major stars, such as Sylvester Stallone in Tulsa King or Harrison Ford and Helen Mirren in the cast of 1923. Sheridan has more than a bit of experience working with superstars, and one former teen heartthrob joined that ever-growing list. The cast of 1923 has grown considerably in Season 2 as Spencer Dutton, Brandon Sklenar, Alexandra, Julia Schledfer, and Tiana Rainwater, Emina Neves make their way across the country. Thanks to Tiana, 1923 was able to bring in another notable actor, Jennifer Carpenter, who plays Mamie Fawcett. She briefly interacted with Marshall Kent, Jamie McShane, and Father Renaud, Sebastian Rocha, and that unlikely pairing also lets C. Thomas Howell join in on 1923 Season 2. It's also startling just how different Howell looks from his most notable project in the 1980s, even though it has been over 40 years. In 1923 Season 2, C. Thomas Howell plays Anders, one of the cowboys in Texas. It seems that Anders is something akin to a wagon boss for the ranch that Tiana Rainwater, Emina Neves, runs his horse, Michael Spears, and Pete Plenty Clouds, Jeremy Ghana, wandered onto. It's also notable that Howell looks significantly different while playing Howell than he did as a teenage heartthrob. He has a huge gray mustache and a weather-beaten face that fits with the rough conditions 1923 depicts. Interestingly, Howell's father was and is a real-life cowboy, meaning this part was likely familiar to him via the mirror. Long before 1923, C. Thomas Howell had his big claim to fame in the 1980s, thanks to a long string of successful movies. In 1982, when he was just 15 years old, Howell played Tyler in E.T. the Extraterrestrial, and he starred as Ponyboy Curtis in The Outsiders just a year later. His film career had a major setback due to 1986's Soul Man, in which Howell appeared in blackface via Looper, though it has recovered considerably in recent years. Howell had a recurring role in SEAL Team, and he had a main role in 2023's Obliterated, along with smaller parts in movies like The Amazing Spider-Man. So far, though he hasn't had much screen time, C. Thomas Howell's Anders has proven to be a fairly important part of 1923 Season 2. Anders was one of the many cowboys who welcomed Tiana, runs his horse, and Pete Plenty Clouds into their fold, and he gave them sanctuary for a while. However, in 1923 Season 2, Episode 5, Marshall Kent and Father Renaud convinced Anders to reveal where Tiana and her group had gone. That led to Kent and Renaud finding the group, and Anders may even be responsible for Pete Plenty Cloud's death in 1923. Unfortunately for C. Thomas Howell, it looks like Anders may have had his final scenes in 1923 Season 2. Tiana and runs his horse will likely continue heading north, and since Spencer Dutton is on a train to Montana, it seems like the show is leaving West Texas behind. There's really no reason why a cowboy like Anders would crop up again anywhere else, so Howell's time in the Yellowstone franchise is more than likely over. He may not have played the most important character in 1923, but C. Thomas Howell certainly made Anders memorable. When the second season of 1923 hit streaming platforms, fans knew they were in for a gritty, emotional ride through the harsh landscapes of early 20th century Montana. What they didn't expect, however, was a blast from the past, disguised in dirt, grit, and a weather-beaten scowl. Yes, one of the biggest surprises this season isn't just the storytelling or the sweeping cinematography. It's the addition of a certain 1980s heartthrob who has joined the cast, and who is, quite literally, unrecognizable. That's right, a star once plastered across Tiger Beat magazine, whose feathered hair and dreamy blue eyes once sent teenage hearts racing, has traded his bomber jacket for a cowboy hat and saddle. The actor in question? Let's just say, if you were a fan of teen movies or primetime soaps in the 80s, you know his face, or at least you used to. Now, he's all grit and gravitas, his jaw hidden beneath a gray-streaked beard, his once boyish charm replaced by a gruff, world-weary edge that fits perfectly into the brutal reality of 1923. The transformation is so complete that some fans didn't even realize it was him until the credits rolled. Social media has been ablaze with reactions. Wait, that's who that was, being the general sentiment across platforms. A star reborn in the Wild West, Taylor Sheridan, the mastermind behind the Yellowstone universe, has a knack for casting. He's known for drawing performances out of actors that push them to their limits, and sometimes far beyond what audiences expect. This time, Sheridan's decision to cast a former teen idol as a grizzled ranch hand and possible rival to Jacob Dutton, Harrison Ford, was bold and surprising, and it worked. The actor, whose identity we'll reveal soon if you haven't guessed already, plays Silas Ketchum, a former outlaw turned hired gun with a mysterious past. With sun-creased skin, a perpetual 5 o'clock shadow, and eyes that carry the weight of too many lost battles, Silas is a far cry from the clean-cut characters the actor once portrayed. But the performance? Absolutely magnetic. Silas enters the season as a quiet storm, his presence subtle at first, but increasingly pivotal as tensions rise between the Dutton family and their growing list of enemies. His allegiance is never quite clear, and that ambiguity makes him one of the most compelling additions to the ensemble. Every scene he's in sizzles with unspoken menace and unexpected emotion. The 1980s icon, then versus now, so who is this transformed cowboy? It's none other than Andrew McCarthy, the Brat Pack icon known for his roles in Pretty in Pink, Street Elmo's Fire, and Mannequin. Yes, that Andrew McCarthy. The same actor who once melted hearts as the sensitive, preppy dreamboat Blaine is now playing a grim-faced ranch hand who's more likely to shoot first and speak later. McCarthy's metamorphosis for 1923 is nothing short of astonishing. Gone are the pastel blazers and wistful gazes. In their place is a man forged in fire, scruffy, stoic, and dangerously unpredictable. But make no mistake, beneath the rugged exterior, McCarthy still brings the same soulful intensity that made him a star in the first place. What's particularly striking is how fully McCarthy disappears into the role. His voice is lower, rougher, almost gravelly. His movements are calculated, heavy, like a man who's lived hard and lost a lot. The trademark twinkle in his eye is still there, but now it's tempered by sorrow and wisdom. You don't see Andrew McCarthy playing a role. You see Silas Ketchum, breathing, bleeding, and clawing his way through the American frontier. Sheridan's secret weapon. Fans and critics alike are already praising McCarthy's performance as a highlight of the season. Some are calling it his best work in decades, an unexpected resurrection of sorts. And that's the beauty of Taylor Sheridan's casting instincts. He doesn't just choose actors, he revives them. We've seen him do it before. Look at Kevin Costner's reinvention in Yellowstone or Cole Hauser's unforgettable turn as Rip Wheeler. Sheridan has an uncanny ability to strip away celebrity and reveal something raw, human, and deeply compelling beneath. With Andrew McCarthy, he's pulled off that trick once again. In an interview with Entertainment Weekly, McCarthy said of his role, "Taylor gave me a gift with Silas. It's not often you get to do something so radically different this far into your career. I'm not here to be pretty anymore. I'm here to tell the truth." And boy, does he ever. A new chapter for a familiar face. McCarthy's return to dramatic acting in such a high-stakes, physically demanding role has sparked a wave of nostalgia, but also admiration. This isn't a cheap cameo or a wink to his past fame. It's a reinvention rooted in authenticity. Watching him saddle up, squint into the setting sun, and trade words, or bullets, with Duttons and enemies alike is a revelation.